Buying a book can feel like pure bliss, but reading a book can feel like a lot of hard work. And we all know that books have the capacity to enlighten our soul, to change our mind, and help build a better life. The reason reading has become increasingly difficult is because we are living in an environment of manufactured intention and half-truths. The real problem is social media is great entertainment, but it sucks at delivering real problem solving. You want to make something for dinner? That's not a problem. TikTok is great for finding recipes, but horrible at deepening your relationships with the people you love. Reading is when you occupy the shape of someone else's mind. It's a slow process. It gives context, subtext, story, example, and is flexible enough for the personalized interpretation of individuals. And so when you read, you're better off, because you are exercising the necessary parts of your brain to develop your human soul. In this video, we will explore some tools and tips that will change your relationship with reading and make the act more enjoyable. Hey, my name is Nick, and after becoming a chief marketing officer, I realized there's so much more to your life's work than productivity. And on this channel, I help you organize your thought life in a productive, fun, and human way. If that sounds like your cup of tea, go ahead and consider hitting that subscribe button. So let's dive right into it. These are the tools and tips that will help you become a more enjoyable reader. Let's get one thing straight. Your phone is not your friend when you're trying to read. There are still natural device-free moments in your life. And if you practice good sleep hygiene, then your phone is not on your nightstand and preferably not in the same room with you as you sleep. So leveraging the time when you wake up or the time before you go to bed to read a book is going to be my first tip. I read before bed because if I do get bored, then I fall asleep. So that's kind of like a win-win. If you prefer to read in your workspace, there are two things I suggest you can do. One is to create an analog desk where there's no digital devices. And two is to use your phone as a clock. This can be done with any iPhone that is running iOS 17 and above. Just make sure standby mode is turned on and choose the widget that is a clock or a clock in a calendar. And anytime that you attach this to a Qi wireless charger in landscape, it's going to display those widgets. Now you have a nice clock on your desk and your phone isn't going to be begging for your attention. Tip number 2 is to find your reading style. Some people enjoy physical books, some people love audiobooks. So just find what works for you. Audiobooks are just as much reading as physical books. Personally, I split my time between reading 2 to 3 physical books a month and 1 to 2 audiobooks a month. And if you've never tried an audiobook, here are 2 recommendations: Spotify Premium and Audible. Spotify Premium gives you like 15 hours of audiobook listening time included in your subscription. And if you don't have a Spotify account, you can always check out Audible. They do a free 30-day trial with 1 free audiobook. And it's really, really cool because in that Audible premium trial, there's also podcasts and some other free books you can check out. I like to mix up the reading styles because there's just some physical books that hold my attention, and other times I need to be doing something with my body in order to keep my brain active. And audiobooks allow me to be on the treadmill, cut the grass, to cook, to do chores while I am still learning. Tip number 3 is to read with a pen in your hand. And this one is a bit more difficult for audiobooks, but if you are reading physical books, this is a perfect note. One of my favorite books is The Burnout Society, and I want to show you some of the notes and how it helps me remember what I read. The reason that you want to take reading notes is because you're going to want to read the book again, and you're also going to reference it in your own writing or your own thinking. And so a couple of things to help you. First off, underline if a sentence, you want to remember that sentence, or if there's a paragraph, just draw a line next to the paragraph. The other thing that I do is when I need to look up certain words, I will circle those words. Maybe I don't know them, or I need a historical context around them. And then the next thing is to draw. When you start to draw drawings that symbolize what you see when you have an idea from the text, it helps tremendously. I'll share one with you right here, and it is on page 16. And the reason that I choose this one is because it's a Heidegger quote. Heidegger, he says about the finitude of life, it implies that we have limits on our action and it makes our freedom finite. And so this idea of memento mori is here. Also on page 17, when he talks about moving from human to being just animals that work, I put the Cheshire Cat because that felt like a Cheshire Cat moment. And so the reason that you take these notes and the reason that you scribble on your books is because you want to remember what it was like to first read it, but also you want to reference it coming back to it. If you want this book, there's a link in the description. Anything by Byung-Chul Han, I highly recommend if you're into philosophy or into sociology. If you have a library book or an audiobook, I suggest just jotting down notes in a separate notebook or capturing it on your voice notes. That's just going to help you remember what you're reading. If you want to watch a whole video on how I take reading notes with some book recommendations, there's a link in the card for you. Tip number 4 is bookmarks and post-it tabs. These are game changer. The bookmark is great for 2 reasons. This one in particular has a yellow strip, and it's great if you ever lose your place reading, so you're not reading the same line 6 or 7 times. It's also very thin and made of plastic, so if it gets wet or dirty, it's easy to clean and it's not going to deteriorate or crumple. This bookmark is great for kids or for those of you with ADD, as it allows your eyes to focus on one line at a time while reading. The post-it tabs are great because you can recall pages easily when the book is closed that you need to reference for the quote or the idea. I don't use them too often, but when I do, I am so glad. Tip number 5 is to hack your brain with binaural beats. Brain.fm uses binaural beats to help you focus. It is great for creativity and for chill. The music's not distracting, and I feel that I can get tasks done more easily with Brain FM. It does have a subscription associated with it, but there's free 30-day trial in the description. And if you want a free service, mynoise.net is free, and it has many great ambient sounds to help you relax and get your brain in mode as well. I hope these tips have inspired you to pick up reading again. I know that it is very difficult, but if you can set the right environment, if you can set the right tone, if you can hack your brain with binaural beats, and if you can keep your hands free so you can fidget and move about, you're going to have a better time reading. If any part of this video was helpful, would you give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what hack you are going to try on your next reading adventure? And as always, until we chat again, I hope you tell the world a better story. Peace.